Is it better to build your website custom or using some sort of template? This is a question that comes up fairly frequently as we're dealing with clients and prospects coming in the door. There's always this thought of, should I do it completely custom or should I try to find something I like and build off that? And the best way that I can equate this would be to say, there's a big difference between a custom home where you're designing everything from the architectural plans through the flooring type, the cabinet type, where the cabinets are, how big they are, what the pulls look like, how your kitchen's laid out, what appliances go, what colors. I mean, with house custom homes, as I'm currently learning, it goes all the way down to what kind of door stoppers you want on the doors, right? Everything has to be picked and decided. With a prefab home, you might get a home this is the way the house is, and you maybe pick these 2 or 3 things. I want this garage, this kitchen, this upstairs, and I want this color floor and this, and there's some optional picks. That's kind of like a hybrid. And then you have, I bought this house and it's exactly what it is, right? They're going to bring the house in, set it down on foundation, and that's what it is. Barn dominiums a lot of times work that way. Modular homes, those kinds of houses. There's kind of like, there's the this is what it is version, like the templates in a website. There's the hybrid version, and then there's the this is full on custom. Websites literally work very much like that. So you can, with lots of platforms, WordPress, Wix, Lead, Shopify, Duda, Webflow, you name it, you pick a platform, they're going to have templates. And you can just go, I want this website, and click on it, and you can get that website. The positive of using some sort of template like that, the positives are, they're very cost effective because it's fast. You click on this thing, it's laid out already, it's good to go. You don't have to think about it. It's got things in place. It's great. It's quick because of that reason. You can spin up a website pretty rapidly, and it's generally fairly user friendly to operate, right? Because it's just a template. So you can just go in and make whatever adjustments you need to make. It's already laid out the different things for you and you're good to go. The downside of a templated approach to a website is it's very limited. So one, most templates are over bloated. So when you get a template, you're going to run into a situation where the developer or designer of this template has tried to think of every possible thing you could need. So let's just pretend that you're a nonprofit that focuses on getting dogs adopted, and you download this pet-friendly theme and you install it in whatever system you want. It's going to have every single potential thing you could ever want. A page for 50 team members, a page for a board of directors, a page for selling dog treats and litter boxes for whatever. Like, it's going to have every possible thing built in. Now, you're not going to use all the things. I would bet you're going to use 15% of those things. So what it does is limits you in that while there's a million options for it, those options are preset, and then it slows everything down, because in order to get this page to load, in your case, which might only have 2 or 3 things in it, you've got to load this massive thing in there, which you don't need. So you end up with performance and SEO issues and all these other issues, but it's cheap and you can spin it up quickly. When you go custom, you've got the other side of the coin. It's not always cost effective, but it's completely customizable. So you might spend twice as much or 3 times as much for the website, but it's everything you need and nothing that you don't. And what that does is, and the positive there is, it's completely customizable and scalable. It's fast because it can be built however it needs to be built, and it can have any functionality that you can imagine put into that website. So let's just say that you have a photo gallery where you have 100 pictures. Well, the layout of that's going to be exactly what you need it to be. It's not going to give you options for 9 different sized galleries and you pick the one you want, and then you have to change it to make it work. This is what we need it to be, and it literally is this. So it's just a whole different ball game when you go into doing a custom site. In our world, we tend to operate where we have libraries of things that we often use, layouts we see all the time, things like frequently asked questions, things like galleries, things like blogs. We tend to do what's called a skeleton framework. And so the way that Milltown Digital builds sites is it's not a template, but they are preconceived pieces that we can put in. So think of what we do, creating all the different puzzle pieces separately, and then for every site we do, we take the pieces we need and put them together. And if there's a piece that we don't have that we need, we build it, right? It's a little bit of a hybrid approach. It is literally like a custom home, but there's some pieces that already exist that we can use to help bring the price down. So we approach it kind of leaning very much more towards the custom side, but we use those modules that we have where we can to get the pricing down to make it more affordable for more businesses, because we believe in the end, the best approach typically tends to be custom, because you can get all the things you need in there, like I said before, but you don't have all the bloat and the mess and the confusion that comes with picking a theme. Also, you don't have the weird update stuff that comes. If you've ever worked on a site and that theme that's been messed with for years and years and years decides to release a new version, and all of a sudden, all of your buttons went from this size to this size. Well, now you've got all this work to do to go correct something that never should have changed in the first place. That's the kind of stuff that happens when you go templated. So here's what kind of helps determine. Budget is a big thing, but you can make custom sites affordable. So don't run away from a custom approach because of budget unless you're sure that you can't afford to do what you want to do. So budget is definitely a concern. Timeline is a concern. It's faster to pick a template and just install it. Where that is not always true is when you're trying to produce copy. Generally, it is much smarter to write the copy you need and then build modules around it than stick the modules on a page and try to write copy to those modules. Why? Because what's more important, the module or the copy? The copy. Every time the copy or the images are the most important thing there. So when you try to design a site to an existing template, the copy starts to get crammed into these places. And instead of going, here's what we want to say, how do we visually represent that? We go, here's this box with a picture here and a this here and these arrows here. And we have to now figure out how to put the copy in here and make that work. That tends to not work out well. So while on one hand, a custom site can make a larger timeline, it's a more efficient timeline. Whereas with a pre-built or predefined template, you're going to have a shorter timeline up front, but you're going to have much more time every time you try to change or adjust something. The next thing to think about really is your purpose. Like, why are you doing this? Are you trying to prove a concept? Are you trying to get a lander spun up, for ads or something like that? If that's the case, a template might do the job for you and get you online quick to prove the concept. Most of the time, what we see is once that concept gets proved, you have to go back and customize and start to do it the right way. But it can help you get online quickly, and it can serve a purpose there. If your purpose is, I want a website that's going to last me 3 to 5 years, that I'm going to be constantly changing and use as a tool in my business, almost always you're going to want to go custom. The next thing to consider is your brand. If you don't have a specific set of brand guidelines, you can get away with a template. When you've got brand guidelines, here's my colors, iconography, graphics, the way that we talk about our business. We know how we speak about our business. We say these things. We don't say these things. We use these pictures. We don't use these pictures. When you're in that mode, it is 100% needed to be custom, because if you try and shove that template in, you're going to have patterns and icons and stuff that don't fit your brand that you're now having to go through and adjust. And by the time you've done all that adjusting, you're going to be more expensive than a custom site. The final thing to think about is SEO, which is search engine optimization, and CRO, which is conversion rate optimization. If we're doing this and we don't really care about traffic and we don't care about conversion, which I would say is probably 10% of the time, the pre-built stuff works fine there, right? Like you can make a templated site have SEO. You can do CRO work on a templated site. It's just not as easy to do, and you're kind of starting with a delay. You have the rest of the team is taken off, and you're like kind of back here still kind of waiting for your gun to go off, so to speak. That is why largely it is easier to build those things into something custom. So with a custom site, you're figuring out what you want, your keywords and your keyword themes and all that to be built into your copy, to be custom designed and custom built. And that way we're thinking about traffic getting there and conversion, converting or buying or whatever on your site while we're in the build. When you operate in template land, what's going to happen is you pick your template and you do all this work and it goes online and you go, all right, cool. I put this website out there, but nobody knows it's there. So I need to do some SEO work. Well, SEO is going to cause reworking of that website. If you determine that, hey, this blue color here is not going to work for conversion rate, we changed it to pink and we got 18% more leads. Well, on a custom site, it might be very, very easy to make that color change. But on a templated site, every button on your website that you've set to pink might have to go be adjusted. There might be code fragments and places that you have to go adjust that you otherwise would not have to adjust. So there's definitely do I need to be worried about traffic and conversion straight away, which most businesses do need to be, and actually accidentally don't think about it until it's too late. And that's when they come to us and go, hey, I built this website, not bringing us any business. We get that email 15 times a week. The reason why that email comes to us is because they went and had somebody just build something that didn't make 100% sense, and they launched it and they went, now it's not working. What do we have to do? And when we dig in there, we go, it's going to take 3 times the time it should take because your template has all this stuff hard-coded, and now we've got to go get rid of all that to do the job. So you really want to identify up front, what's the purpose of this thing? Do I just, I've got a side business with my family farm. Last year was my first year. I make hay. So I cut hay, break it, roll it, and we feed it to horses and cows and all the things. Always wanted to learn. It is so much fun. I can't say enough how much I enjoy doing hay. But the thing with working through that was I knew, okay, we need a little website here, right? I need a little website. It didn't matter. I already had my fields. I already knew what I was doing. I just wanted a presence. If you just want a presence, you can knock that out with one of our starter websites, 3 to 4 pager, something that's kind of not templated in our case, but you could knock it out with a template or like a hybrid setup because the purpose is I need it to exist, right? That's a different purpose than I need this thing to make me money. I need this thing to bring me leads. I need this thing to sell. I need this thing to validate my presence because I'm going to speak at a bunch of conferences and I need something that makes me look amazing and legit. Or, hey, I'm selling this $50,000 engagement. It's going to probably be hard to do that without some sort of custom setup and without thinking about your traffic first. So know your purpose for building that website before you enter into this thought process, because the purpose largely is going to drive this. So best advice I can give is personally, I try to steer clear of templates. They bring more problems in the long run than they save you on the front end. But if your budget tight, it might be something to look at. You also might think about, like I mentioned earlier, one of our starter websites, which is going to help you get online quickly and easily, but it's still mostly custom. We use some pre-built things, like I said before, some skeleton items, but it's not a template site. It's over here on the custom side. And the cool thing about those sites is, yes, we're going to start with 3 or 4 pages, but when your business grows and you add services and staff and blogs and all these things, the website can grow because it's custom. It can be anything we want it to be. It can go from 4 pages to 4,000 pages, and it does not matter because under the underbelly under there is all custom, and it's built properly and it works properly. So in order to decide if you need a template or a custom site or a hybrid, know your budget, know your timeline or some idea. I'll tell you, when people say, I can build you a website in 3 weeks, you should be scared because there's no literal way to actually do that efficiently and effectively. So budget, timeline, scale that you're trying to get to, the purpose for it, how branded is your business, and do I care about traffic and conversion? Do I want leads and sales from this? If the answer to that is yes, you're custom. If the answer to that is no, I'm really just doing this because I think I need a website for something, then you can lean towards the template side. If you don't know what to do, you're stuck, please reach out and book a call with us. Get on the phone, let's talk about it, because we have solutions for all sorts of different sides of the spectrum on this. We've built websites that are 1 page or 2 pages, and we've built them that are in the, I don't even know how many thousands of pages. We've done it all. We can definitely guide you based on what you have, your goals, where you need to be, what you're trying to accomplish. There is probably a website that we can do for you, but we need to figure out which way to go and how to appropriately spend your budget. Be realistic about what you're trying to accomplish and book a call so we can help you sort it out. Thank you so much. I hope you find this content helpful. If you do, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check out our website at milltowndigital.com, and hop on a call with our team so we can help you figure out what you need to do. Thank you so much.